And let's get her little eyes in here.
Ooh.
There you go.
Oh, come down.
And there might be a little bit. So the jaw's out a little bit on the right. So I'm going to do a right TMJ.
Okay.
No, I missed it.
Okay.
Got it.
There we go.
There we go, sweetie. And you're good. I think that's all it is. Let me check the Atlas cap again. Today we have Peppermint and we have Nick, the owner, and welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
So tell us a little bit about who Peppermint is, how old Peppermint is, and how you met Peppermint, or how Peppermint came to be in your life.
Well, all right. The Peppermint she's actually, I think she's going to be 4 this month. It's hard to tell because she was a rescue. Peppermint, or the Mint for short, as we like to call her. She was, again, my first experience with the rescue. She was abandoned on the streets of the Bronx when she was 2 months old. And she was found with another little black dog who got adopted. And Peppermint was left over. And then my girlfriend had adopted her. And that's how she came into my life. And so she was very good friends, Peppermint was, with my dog, who was a Havanese named Lola, and they almost looked exactly the same. Like we used to say, they're becoming the same dog. They are Lola Mint. And so Lola would have been 16 in July. Lola,
and what breed?
She was a Havanese.
And that's the same as...
I don't know, honestly. I'm thinking about doing a DNA test because she looks like she's got some Bichon. She looks like she's got some Poodle in her, but as I said, she's a rescue, so we don't really know. But so she was living with me for about a year and a half, and she and Lola were like best friends, and Lola would have been 16 in July, so Lola was like her surrogate mom. So they would hang out and run up and down the apartment all day. So Lola passed away in May.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then her human mom, my girlfriend, first of all, when Lola passed away, she was like really bummed. She got really
Mint was.
Yeah, Peppermint got really depressed. And then her mommy, her human mom, passed away in August.
Oh wow, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
So that's your girlfriend.
Yeah. So I was afraid she was going to get really, really bummed. But I mean, as you can see, she's all right. She's as I said, she's 3, so she's still psycho. But I brought her in because I mean, you work on me, and I seem to be moving pretty well. And I like to say, like, no more of this X Games stuff she'll like dive off the couch, off of the table. I have like about a 30-foot hall, hardwood floors in my apartment. She just sprints up and down. My bed, I have a king-size bed. It's about like 3 feet off the ground. And if I don't grab her, hey, what are you talking about? If I don't grab her, she'll just dive off. And she like looks like a flying squirrel like this. See, she's trying to jump off at me. So
it depends. Sometimes she might land funny or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, for the
most part. And you ever see her limp?
Or yeah, a little bit here and there. She'll limp sometimes on the left side. She apparently has luxating patella on both of her hind knees.
Okay.
And as I say, since she's only 3, I just figured, get her in, get her under control first.
So we're gonna do a nice little treatment today. So Nick is a chiropractor client of mine, and you've been in for a whole bunch of, chiropractic sessions.
Yeah. I've been cracked 6 ways since Sunday.
Yes. So we never did a video. It's just comes in for private appointments. Tell us what you do for a living, because I find it interesting. And we can also leave a link too if you want to look up some of his work and what he does.
Yeah, I do a talk show on SiriusXM. It's a channel called Volume, Channel 106, and we're a talk channel about music. So we literally talk about music every day. We talk to artists, we talk to producers, engineers. I just interviewed Daryl Hall, who's one of my heroes the other day. I'm going to interview Matt Sorum of The Cult and The Cult, Guns N' Roses, Velvet Revolver. I've talked to Kenny Loggins. I've talked to LL Cool J. I've talked to Ice Cube. So pretty much all.
But it's a talk show.
Yeah.
About music.
Yeah, we play music here and there, but for the most part, it's not like I'm a DJ playing songs. We're just actually talking about music and taking phone calls and talking about, the music stories of the day, like Will Smith stupidly smacking Chris Rock or Kanye backing out of Coachella. But we'll play sort of like, snippets of music for reference. It's actually pretty cool. It's the first time it's ever been done. I'm shocked it's working. We've been there almost 6 years.
6 years you've had this.
Yeah.
So again, it's 106 on
SiriusXM 106,
Yeah. And we're going to put that link in the description box below, and you can look them up and see some of these interviews.
And hopefully we can still be friends anyway. So.
Now, are they archived too, where people can? Is there any place that people can go back and listen to?
Yeah, on the SiriusXM app, you can just go, or like at SiriusXM.com. There's a whole archive of everything we've done pretty much since the beginning.
Okay.
Right.
And what's your stage name? Is it the same name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Nick Carter. I didn't know. Nick, the music guy, or
That would really stink if I was like in witness protection. And it's like, oh my god, delete this video.
Well, that's why I asked you if we could shoot a video. So you should have told me beforehand that you were in witness protection and we can't shoot today.
Yes, okay. I'm hiding from her. See, it's funny because she's usually, she's very energetic, but she's usually not like hyper like this. I think she knows something's going on.
So we're going to do some fun stuff. Just to comment on what he did know about the knees. So, and there's different names for it, and he said one of the correct names, which is a luxating patella. So luxating means to dislocate. In chiropractic, we use a word called subluxation, and that means less than a dislocation, because sub is a little less than.
Right.
And so when we talk about someone's neck being subluxated, we don't mean it dislocated. But with knees, they literally dislocate.
Yeah.
They instead of the patella, the kneecap being on the little track and groove, it pops out. And when it does, they will be lame until it pops back in. They will not be able to use that knee.
And she's such a stoic little dog. Like, it'll happen here and there, and she doesn't yelp or anything.
She just shakes it off.
Yeah, she'll just limp a little bit, and I'm like, are you all right? She goes back to normal, as I say.
Then it works back in sometimes. Yeah. One of the things that we tell people that have, the other name for it, remember I said luxating patella, is also hypermobile patella, so excessively mobile patella or kneecap. And one of the things you could do if you have this at home, and it usually happens with smallish, medium-ish to small dogs, is because of their size, they always want to jump up on their back legs and be greeted. So if that happens to you and you're worried about it, or if your dog is not like Peppermint that can shake it off and kind of retrack it on her own, then you want to make sure they don't jump up so much. So when you come home from being out, you want to greet them and maybe sit in a chair and have them not jump up, so you don't praise them to be jumping on the back leg. Because the less you can do on jumping up on the 2 feet, the bipedal position, you're going to be asking for that to happen more and more. So you have to train you and your friends and neighbors not to greet them until they're on 4 feet or sitting next to you, or put them next to you and pet them.
Yeah, and I'm trying to keep her weight down too. As you can see, she's kind of shaped like a barrel. But
Well, I'm not going to make fun of her, because until I perfect my own barrel, I'm not going to, no comment there. So let's do some stuff. So you're going to put her on the table.
All right.
And let's do a nice little treatment.
It's okay,
So,
Peppy, it's okay.
Hi, Peppermint. Can I work with you today? I always like to ask. I don't know if she's going to answer.
It's okay.
But can I work on you today?
Oh, your breath is... Oh.
All right. So maybe I shouldn't go that close to the breath, right?
Yeah, no, seriously.
So I'm going to start here at the atlas.
It's okay. It's okay.
And I might stand, and you're doing great stuff there, so I'm just...
It's okay. It's okay, Peppy.
All right, so I'm going to work with her a little bit. And so the first thing I noticed is a real tightness at the left superior atlas. And because she's kind of a squiggly one, I'm going to just work through and just work. So here I got it.
Got it. I heard that crack.
Yeah, that was a crack.
Hey, nice one, Fluffernutter. I heard that. Yeah.
We'll let her digest that for a second.
Okay. Yeah, she's a big music fan too.
Does she love music?
Loves the Blue Oyster Cult. Peppy's a puppy. She's white and she's fluffy.
I didn't know that. I had a Blue Oyster Cult album when I was in high school.
That was a good one.
I'm trying to think which album it would have been.
That was a nice crack. Right, Pep?
Yeah.
It calmed her right
So
down,
here's
too.
one too. So we're at C5 on the lower left. Hi. Do you feel this spot here?
No.
So I'm just going to rub the muscle a little bit.
It's okay.
You might even be able to feel this. So put your fingertip here nice and light.
Yeah.
And it's right in there. It's just
it's
tight,
a little tight. Yeah. Wow, I could feel you. You're tight. What are you so tight for? What are you stressed about? You got a pretty good life.
So what's interesting is C5 for a dog is very similar to C5 for a human, which is the part of the cervical spine that flexes and extends the most. So when you're in a car accident and have a whiplash injury, here, hold on to Peppermint for a minute, your neck whips and you'll most likely have an injury at C5, C6. Now, if your neck hurts on rotation, that's usually the upper cervicals, C1, C2. Now, if you have just a little bit of forward extension and forward flexion at the very top, that's C0 or occiput atlas, the atlantal occipital joint, C1 and then above at the occiput. And that's what we adjust on a horse when we call it the pole. So rotation is C1, C2. Big cervical flexion and extension is C5, C6. And when you jump off of a couch or a 3-foot king-size bed and fly, your neck can get into a whiplash. And we see that with show jumping horses as well. So a show jumping horse goes over those huge fences and wall obstacles, and then when lands, their head can whip. And so sometimes if we're seeing any front shoulder lameness on a horse, we will, especially if they're a jumper, we'll look at the shoulder and the leg, obviously, but then it's also really good to look at C5 or the lower cervicals to see if there's any whiplash. And in effect, she's a show jumper. She's a jumper. So let's now go in here and got it. That made a little click too.
Yeah, you're making us look bad. All the other dogs are so well behaved.
Yeah. No, she's great. She's got a lot of energy, and she's got a happy family with you, right? She's got a great situation now. You guys have each other. Now I'm coming down. We don't need this towel anymore. So I'm coming down the upper thoracic, C3 through T3 through T8 as the withers on a horse, but kind of little withers area on a dog. And then just below T8 is where the saddle will fit, but she doesn't use a saddle, does she?
No.
No.
Do you need her to stand or is she okay?
No, she's actually good. I'm going to just follow her where she is. I'm feeling a little bit here at T5, so I'm going to adjust that. So I'm going to sorry to hold your hand, but I'm going to...
It's okay. Oh, that's a good one.
There we go.
See?
And I'm going to come down.
Probably feels better.
And there's a little bit here. So this one rotated to the right. So the spinous is right. We're now 7 cervicals, 13 thoracics, and 7 lumbars. Humans have 12 thoracics and 5 lumbars, but we're down here at T11, and T11 went right. So I'm going to line up a little bit on the left and push back. So I'm not doing a spinous push. I'm going on the opposite side and getting it that way. That moved nicely, so that's good. Coming down, and there's a little bit here. So I'm going to lift up and support the pelvis. And got it.
Ooh, there you go.
Almost done. Let's lift this back leg up. So we're going to do kind of a doggy arabesque. If she lets me, we'll do one leg at a time.
Okay.
That's good. Let me check this leg. Good. And then I'm going to just check to see if they look symmetrical, and they do. So I look down at the feet, and they're even. So that's really nice. We can reset.
See why we're here? Being adjusted.
She's already jumping. And let me check the kneecaps.
Okay.
The patellas, the luxating patellas, and they're in for the moment, which is good. We're not going to bother them. I'm going to feel the muscularity around the quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes. They all feel nice on the left. Let's check quads, hamstrings, glutes. One of the things with the luxating patella or the hypermobile patella or kneecap is I like to see if the quads are over tight. Because if they're over tight, they're going to be pulling either bilaterally too much, or if it's, let's say, you just have a tight left quad, it might be more prone to luxating on the left because the hyper tonicity or tightness of the left quad could yank the patella out more frequently. But her quads seem balanced, but that's something I like to check. So her quads feels well toned, and she's a younger dog, still at 4 years old, or approximately 4 years old, and her quads feel really good. Now I'm going to reach down one more time and just check the hamstrings, coming down the leg, feeling the different joints. I'm on the feet now, and we're at that, little feeling the phalanges, pulling the hip up, seeing how it's mobile. I'm touching the tail, and I'm at the apex of the tail where the bottom of the sacrum meets the tail. And I'm not pulling the tail, I'm just mobilizing it. I'm bringing it to the right, bringing it to the left, bringing it superior, bringing it inferior, and then reaching above and checking this sacral apex where the apex comes down to a little bit of a triangular tip, and I'm feeling that. That all feels good. Now let's move over to the right hip and leg. So now I'm on the right side, I'm feeling the right quad, and I found a little spasm here on the semitendinosus, which is one of the hamstring muscles. It's the one more lateral. The semimembranosus will be more towards the midline. And I'm right there now. My thumb is into that hamstring muscle, massaging it out. And I don't think this is much, but it could just be from all of her running down the hallway.
Like a knot or something?
Maybe slipping once in a while, right? Does her feet slip out a little bit?
Yeah.
So this is a muscle knot. So this is not anything that needs to be cracked or adjusted, but it is a noticeable muscle spasm. And I'm going to work it until it releases, so I'm holding it. You'll just have to wait a second. And my thumb is my index finger is really deep into the hamstring. So I'm between the two muscles. I'm between the semimembranosus, the semitendinosus, and I went in between the gap, and I'm working between those two hamstring muscles. And then I found a spasm, and I dig into the spasm and hold. And I jiggle a little bit. That's how I'm doing that one. Let's recheck her one more time and see if it's released a little bit.
Okay, the right side? Okay.
Yeah, so the right hamstring. I started on the outside band, and then I moved into the gap between the two. And now it's feeling normal again. Good. So that all released. Okay, now I'm going to come underneath and check the internal, iliopsoas muscle, and that's the hip flexors from the inside. So I'm going to lift her up a little bit so I can get my fingers in there, and that's a more sensitive, tender area, so she might jerk away a little bit. But I'm just feeling how those are, because that's leaping muscles, right? Because we need to pull the knee up as we catapult up on your bed.
No, she can't get up, thank God.
Oh, so it's jumping down.
Yeah, I stupidly pick her up and put her up there, and then she jumps down. She's gotten better though.
Like a flying squirrel.
Exactly.
Oh, that was the iliopsoas.
That was tender.
So sorry, baby.
It's okay. It's okay, Shmo. It's okay.
I was wiggling in and wiggling in and wiggling in, and finally, I was on a tender spot to begin with, but finally I got to the point where it's too much. So let me check the left side.
It's okay.
And the left side's normal. So the right side was the one. So we had right iliopsoas, we had right hamstring, specifically the semitendinosus, and then I checked the fascial gap in between. Let me just check jaw, and so we just have her look up at me. And I'm going to check the little TMJ area.
Yeah.
And check here. And now I'm going to pull the face forward a little bit. You can't see, but I'm dragging the face forward. And let's get her little eyes in here. Oh, there you go.
Oh, come here.
And there might be a little bit. So the jaw's out a little bit on the right. So I'm going to do a right TMJ.
Okay.
No, I missed it.
It's okay.
Got it.
There we go.
There we go, sweetie. And you're good. I think that's all there is. Let me check the atlas gap again. Check C5 on the left is better. That was the thoracic is good. And the spine is nice. Let me check the front limb. Pulling the leg forward.
Yeah, she likes a good jaw massage.
Good, yeah, and that's really good. We can always massage their jaws.
Ooh.
So her nails are a little long.
Mm-hmm. Jaws get tired from chewing stuff and biting stuff.
Do you clip her nails yourself, or do you bring her and get it done?
I take her to the groomer or to the vet.
That's good.
Right back.
So one of the things that I learned from my veterinarian teachers is they were really into getting the nails clipped, because they said we should never really hear a dog's nails touch the wood floor, like the click, 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 click. And part of the reason is because the pad needs to hit, not the nails, and eventually it could even promote a pH change in acidity into the muscles.
Get out of here.
Which will eventually, and these are my veterinarian teachers, which will eventually accelerate degeneration and possible arthritis. And they had a whole sequel of explaining how that's possible. So the idea is keep them trimmed. One of the best ways to trim if you don't like clipping them at home is on They also sell a grinder style, where it's like a little emery twirling little grinder, like on a rotator, and so you can go like zzz, 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 and bring them down nicely without any clipping or bleeding. And I think I have that link already in my description box. But that's a good way if people find that their dogs grow faster than they can bring them to the groomer. It's a great way to touch them up without having to like hold them down and clip hard. So I think we're almost done, or I think we're done. Let me just ask you, did I get everything for you? Thanks for letting me work with you today. Okay, I think you're gonna like the way this feels. Anything left to say? All right. So we got to adjust Nick on this video.
Oh! That's from carrying Peppermint in the bag on the subway.
And today was a stressful subway day, right?
Oh my God,
There was a
yeah.
shooting today. Drop your head this way.
Ooh.
That was the big one.
Oof.
Is that birds flying?
Totally.
All right.
Holy
That's
smokes.
all for you today.
All right.
All right, thank you. I never seen that before. Can you do that one more time?
Look at the cartoons.
Like when you're knocked out unconscious?
Totally. Look at the big smile.
Because that's
on
what
his
happens
face.
in the cartoons. You're literally knocked out unconscious and the birds fly around, right?
Look at it. Yeah, I'm glad you're
All
happy
right.
now.
Now, thanks for coming in today. Please leave a message for the Mint. And if you have any ideas what breed do you think she is, throw your ideas in the comment section. And until then, until you get your Ancestry.com for her. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, thanks.
And the Mint says thank you too.
Thank you, Mint.
Schmeppermint.
She really is cute.
Look at her. Look at the look at her face.
Hey, thanks, Mint.
She's like, I'm going to kill all of you when this camera's off.
All right, thank you. And let's get her little eyes in here.
Ooh.
There you go.
Oh, come here.
And there might be a little bit. So the jaw's out a little bit on the right. So I'm going to do a right TMJ.